The northern coniferous forest can be found in the northern part of North America, as well as northern Europe and Asia. It is also referred to as the boreal forest, or taiga, and is the largest terrestrial biome. In the northern forests, the winters are long, cold, and dry, while the short summers are moderately warm. The annual precipitation ranges from 30 to 70 centimeters. Available soil moisture is high as a result of cool temperature and low evapotranspiration rates. During winter months, precipitation falls as snow, while in the winter it falls as rain. The northern coniferous forest biome has little diversity in regard to plant life when compared to the other kinds of biomes. The soil present in coniferous forest is thin, acidic, and contains fewer nutrients. This biome is also categorized by rocks. Because of these factors, plant species have developed unique adaptations. The name evergreen defines a critical adaptation of conifer or cone-bearing trees. Since they don't shed their leaves during winter, they are not forced to grow them back during spring. This is a vital adaptation to the harsh environment because regrowing leaves requires loads of energy. Another remarkable adaptation of conifer trees that enables them to survive the harsh winter is the needle they develop. While the coniferous forest biome is characterized by moderately high precipitation, the frozen winter makes it significantly harder for trees to tap water. Possessing thin needles along with a waxy coating massively reduces loss of water via transpiration. The needles are dark colored, which allows the trees to absorb vast quantities of the sun's heat necessary for photosynthesis. Coniferous trees are also characterized by a pointed shape. The pointed shape prevents accumulation of snow, which could damage coniferous tree branches. The pointed shape allows snow to slide off to the ground seamlessly. Most animals in this biome develop thick coats of fur when winter strikes to insulate themselves from freezing temperatures. Some hibernate as well. Those that are not able to develop this adaptation migrate to warmer areas. This is a food web containing some of the species that live in the northern coniferous forest. Aspen trees, big sage, bearded wheatgrass, tufted hairgrass, gray willow, bluegrass, pond algae, and blueberries are all producers. The beaver, elk, bison, moose, deer mouse, snowshoe hare, harlequin duck, and cutthroat trout are all primary consumers. Coyote, red fox, and grizzly bear are secondary consumers. The tertiary consumers are the gold eagle and bald eagle. The gray wolf is the quaternary consumer. The energy from the level below nourishes the next organism, allowing energy to flow through the food web and consequently the ecosystem. Competition is the fight between two or more organisms for resources. Coyotes and wolves are an example of competition because they compete for prey such as elk and snowshoe hares. Wolves often harass or kill coyotes to get rid of any competition for food. The fox and the snowshoe hare are an example of a predator-prey relationship. The fox consumes the hare for nourishment. Predator and prey evolve together. The prey is part of the predator's environment, and the predator dies if it does not get food, so it evolves whatever is necessary in order to eat the prey. Likewise, the prey dies if it is eaten by the predator, so it evolves whatever is necessary to avoid being eaten. The elk and the tick display a parasitic relationship. The tick gets its energy from sucking the elk's blood, which causes the elk to contract illness and disease. The tick benefits from this relationship, but the elk is harmed. Blueberries and bears have a mutualistic relationship. The blueberries provide food and energy for the bears, while the bears help the blueberry species by spreading the seeds when they digest and excrete the food. Beavers and deer mice show commensalism. The dams created by beavers provide habitats for deer mice, and the beavers and their dams aren't harmed. In a clumped dispersion, individuals are clustered in groups. One example of this is the elk species, as they tend to travel in herds. This allows a species to detect and avoid predators more efficiently than if they were by themselves. Uniform dispersion is defined by the population displaying an evenly spaced pattern. Plants usually benefit by growing near each other when they excrete toxins to inhibit growth of a nearby individual, a phenomenon called allelopathy. Aspen trees, for example, grow in a uniform dispersion. In random dispersion, individuals are distributed randomly, without a predictable pattern. One example of random dispersion is big sage. When the seeds of a big sage plant are dispersed by wind, the plants become randomly dispersed. The seeds spread widely and sprout where they fall, as long as the environment is favorable. This slide displays a graph of the survivorship curve of moose. It is a plot of the proportion or numbers in a population still alive at a certain age. The moose population tends to have more younger moose than older. According to the curve, most don't live past 15 years old. Nitrogen is part of amino acids, protein, and nucleic acids, and is often a limiting plant nutrient. Plants, such as the gray willow, can use two inorganic forms of nitrogen, ammonium and nitrate, and some organic forms, such as amino acids. Bacteria can use these forms as well as nitrate. Animals, such as hares, can use only organic forms of nitrogen. Nitrogen enters an ecosystem through nitrogen fixation. This is the conversion of nitrogen to forms that can be used to synthesize organic compounds. Bacteria in the soil convert nitrogen to different forms. Some bacteria carry out nitrification, the conversion of ammonia to nitrate. Others carry out ammonification, the conversion of organic nitrogen to ammonia. Still others carry out denitrification, the reduction of nitrate to nitrogen gases. This nitrogen goes back into the atmosphere to begin the process once again. Carbon forms the framework of the organic molecules essential to all organisms. Photosynthetic organisms utilize carbon dioxide during photosynthesis and convert the carbon to organic forms that are used by consumers. Photosynthesis by plants, such as tufted hairgrass, remove atmospheric carbon dioxide. This quantity is approximately equaled by the carbon dioxide added to the atmosphere by cellular respiration by producers and consumers, such as the red fox. It can also return to the atmosphere through the decay of dead organisms and the burning of fossil fuels. Carbon can also be trapped underground as coal, oil, and gas. Plants that die and are buried may turn into fossil fuels made of carbon, like coal and oil, over millions of years. This natural process keeps CO2 levels in the atmosphere stable over time. Water is essential to all organisms, and its availability influences the rate of ecosystem processes. All organisms are capable of exchanging water directly with their environment. The main processes driving the water cycle are evaporation of liquid water by solar energy, condensation of water vapor into clouds, and precipitation. Transpiration by terrestrial plants, such as bearded wheatgrass, also moves large volumes of water into the atmosphere. Organisms require phosphorus as a major constituent of nucleic acids, phospholipids, and ATP, as well as other energy-storing molecules, and as a mineral constituent of bones and teeth. The most biologically important inorganic form of phosphorus is phosphate, which plants absorb and use in the synthesis of organic compounds. Weathering of rocks gradually adds phosphate to soil. Phosphate taken up by producers and incorporated into biological molecules may be eaten by consumers, such as an elk. Phosphate is returned to the soil or water by either decomposition or excretion by consumers. Only relatively small amounts of phosphorus move through the atmosphere, usually in the forms of dust and sea spray. Deforestation is a major problem for the climate and the creatures who live in the northern coniferous forest. It destroys the habitat of tree-dwelling animals and can lead to the extinction of a species. Clear-cutting is the extensive harvesting of trees in an area. Its biggest drive is land for agriculture. The biggest effect of deforestation is the loss of habitat for the organisms that live in that area, and the destruction of biodiversity, the variety of life in the ecosystem. The growing back of trees takes years due to the coniferous forests, climate, and soil. It has contributed immensely to the damage of many coniferous forest biomes by diverting stream habitats and water flow patterns while also flooding wide areas. Ending deforestation is our best chance to conserve wildlife. On top of that, it's one of the quickest and most cost-effective ways to curb global warming. In too many parts of the world, ineffective or corrupt governments make things worse by opening the door to illegal logging and other crimes. Humans can take steps to help conserve coniferous biomes by using paper carefully. They can also help by embracing recycling practices. This habit will significantly assist to reduce the need for logging.